How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. Today we are going to be talking some Brewers. Got the win yesterday, a big win for the Brewers there, 8-2 the finish against the Cardinals. We're going to cover that. We're also going to be looking a little bit at the Badger football team, a little bit of Packer football, and then we're going to be looking towards Badger basketball. The conference schedule was released, so now we have a full schedule. Going to look over that a little bit and see what we can see. But with that, we're going to jump right into it with the Brewers. 8-2 finish there for the Brewers. A dominant performance there by Adrian Hauser and the Brewers in this one. Looking at the box for this game here, Hauser, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts for Hauser. So a solid outing from Adrian Hauser. Coming in for Hauser, then Bryce Wilson, he looked good. An inning pitch there, 1 walk, nothing across the board for him. Pompous then came in for an inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run in his outing, and he was followed by Bakasis, who was called up earlier yesterday. There was a flurry of moves by the Brewers yesterday. Paguero was put on the 15-day IL with some elbow issues. Colin Ray was sent back down to AAA Nashville. Julio Teheran is back from the 15-day IL. He was activated yesterday. And then Buckus came up there to replace Paguero in the bullpen. With that, though, Brewers, looking at hitting-wise, Canha, 1 for 5 at the top, 3 RBIs. A big bases-clearing double for Mark Canha there late in this ball game. Contreras, 2 for 5 effort from Contreras. Santana, an 0 for Adames, 0 for 4. And then looking at Donaldson, he had a big 3-run home run that opened up the scoring for the Brewers there in that first inning. Tyrone Taylor, 2 for 4 night, 2 solo shots from Tyrone Taylor. Frelick, a 1 for 4 night. Monasterio ended it 2 for 4. And Blake Perkins, 1 for 3 on this ball game. So some good hitting by the Brewers in this one. 10 hits in total to 6 for the Cardinals to wrap up this third game in this 4-game set. Still have another game to go, but the Brewers' magic number is now down to 4. Cubs lost again. Brewers won. Magic number drops even more. It could be almost by this weekend. The Brewers could have punched and won the NL Central here outright. So good news there on the Brewers front. They move 8 to 86 and 66. The Cardinals dropped to 67 and 85, eliminated from the playoffs. That's okay. The Cardinals can take a year off. Looking at the Cardinals box in this one, looking at pitchers, Thompson started for him, 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs given up in this one. Jacob Barnes, ex-Brewer, Jacob Barnes, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts for Barnes. Lawrence came in then for 2 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, and 1 home run given up for Lawrence. So Brewers got to Thompson, but also got to the bullpen a little bit there. Jacob Barnes looked good. He's been struggling this year. He's got a 7.45 ERA for the Cardinals, but he's bounced around a lot since leaving Milwaukee. But the Brewers couldn't get to him in this one, and they actually got to Lawrence there at the end. Looking at hitting-wise for the Cardinals, Nootbaar at the top of the order there, 2 for 4 a night for him. Goldschmidt, 1 for 4. Walker went 1 for 3. Other than that, Palacios went 1 for 4, and Furman went 1 for 4 in this one. 6 hits for him in total, 5 strikeouts. Solid outing by the Brewers pitching staff in this ball game. But other than that, I just wanted to jump into some minor league. Just look at the minor leagues quick for the Brewers here. They're wrapping up their seasons. Looking at the AAA level, top hitters for AAA as of right now, Abraham Toro, 289 average for him, 100 hits, 34 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs, and 56 RBIs on this season at AAA. Keston Hiura, a 308 average, 77 RBIs, 23 home runs, 12 doubles, 97 hits, 55 runs scored for Keston. Peyton Henry, catcher, 296 average on the season, 11 doubles, and he had 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, and 68 hits on the season. So some solid work out of that top half there for the Brewers minor league at AAA. Just looking down if I could see anybody else here who has been hitting pretty well for them. Jesse Winker sitting at that 290 average down there for AAA Nashville. But other than that, Chris Roller, recent call up to him, he's got a 341 average. Owen Miller sitting at that 287. Tyler Black is at a 290 average, third baseman, one of the top prospects for the Brewers. Potentially see him as of next year on this Brewers team. But other than that, that is about all I'm seeing for hitting wise. Looking at the pitchers here, uh, top of it, Robert Gasser, 166 strikeouts on the season in 135 innings pitched, 25 starts, one complete game, 123 hits given up, 57 earned runs, 12 home runs, but a 3.79 ERA to go with a 9-1 record on the season. That's impressive work out of one of the Brewers' top pitching prospects. Looking at the some other pitchers down there for Clayton Andrews has been solid for the Nashville Sounds, 2.49 ERA with 47 games pitched, 55 innings pitched, and 71 strikeouts. He's been solid in the bullpen down there for AAA. He can't produce it at the big league level for some reason. I don't know what it is, but he cannot get it to duplicate over into the major league level, kind of like Keston Hiura for that team. Looking down at the AA level, the Biloxi Shuckers, they're coming down to the tail end here. Wes Clark, he's got a 241 average, 26 home runs on the season, 80 RBIs. Jackson Churro recently called up to AAA, but his AA stats, because he's not going to have a full boat there at AAA, did get his first hit the other night though, but he will not have that full boat. So looking at his AA stats, 280 average, 103 strikeouts, that's the alarming part of it, but 22 home runs and 89 RBIs, 143 hits for him. So impressive on the other fronts there for Jackson Churro. Jefferson Cuero, another top prospect for the Brewers catcher, he had a 262 average at Biloxi, 16 home runs for him, 88 hits in total. Looking down the list here, Eric Brown Jr. has not recorded a hit yet up at the AA level. Brock Wilken, 217 average at AA. But that is about it for solid hitting going on at the AA level. Looking pitching wise, Carlos F. Rodriguez is a real standout down there. 2.77 ERA, 25 starts, 152 strikeouts on the season. Looking at some of the bullpen guys down there. Where was I just looking here? Ryan Brady, 2.57 ERA in 18 games pitched, 28 innings and 26 strikeouts. Other than that, James Meeker, a 3.13 ERA, 31 games. Oh, yes. 34 games pitched and 80 strikeouts. So some solid pitching there from those guys down there at the AA level. Looking down to High A Wisconsin, that is the Timber Rattlers. We are looking at, get them to load in here, some stats. Right now, leading them in average, Brock Wilken, when he was down there, was hitting 289. He's got a small sample size up there at the AA level. Mike Bovia, another one of their prospects, just drafted this last year. 250 average for him down there. Luis Lara, since being called up from the Mudcats to High A, has been hitting 290 with no home runs, 8 RBIs, 20 hits on this shortened season for him at the High A level. Recent call up, one of the top prospects for the Brewers. He's another outfield prospect, following kind of in the footsteps of Jackson Churro. He's kind of I wouldn't say generational, but a star in the making there in Luis Lara. Only 18 years old, on his way up already. Impressive work out of the Brewers to scoop him up in the international pool. But other than that, Ernesto Martinez, first baseman, he's got a 267 average, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs, and 65 hits on the season. Looking at the pitching front, Tyler Wolsener, a 4.02 ERA and 22 starts, 121 innings pitched, and 112 strikeouts on the season. Tanner Shears, a 1.52 ERA and 26 games pitched, 29 innings and 44 strikeouts. Shane Smith, 17 games pitched, a 1.37 ERA in 34 strikeouts on this season. So some impressive work out of the starters and bullpen there for the High A Timber Rattlers. Looking down at the Mudcats then, we'll get to the Mudcats here to end it. looking at some of the top prospects for the Brewers this season did struggle. Looking at guys like Jay Savina, he's in that top 30. I did see another guy in here that I was Hedbert Perez, 216 average on the season. He was in that top ranking too. But a guy who surprised, Yadier Arminio, second baseman, 306 average on the season, 4 home runs for him, 52 RBIs, 121 hits on the season. So Yadier looked good for the Mudcats this season. Another guy, Luke Adams, 11 home runs, 54 RBIs, and a 233 average to carry it along with him. Looking at the pitching front for him, Logan Henderson, a 2.75 ERA in 18 starts. He had 106 strikeouts. Patricio Aquino in 19 starts, 2.75 ERA, 88 innings, and 86 strikeouts. Looking down the line here just to see if we can find any other solid stats out of the bullpen. Shane Smith, 2.59 ERA and 19 games pitched, 50 strikeouts. Looking around here, that's about all I'm seeing for some solid pitching there out of the bullpen for high A Mudcats. But in other Brewer news, JC Mejia has been suspended again for a positive PED test. It looks like, from what we can see, this marks the second time in 16 months that Mejia has tested positive for stanozolol. I'm not good at pronouncing words, but that's what it is. It's stanozolol. And it's a synthetic steroid that is derived from testosterone and has anabolic and androgenic properties. It first came to the market in 1962. Over time, the marketing and labeling has been altered due to FDA requirements and changes in the drug market. In 2010, it was withdrawn from the U.S. market. It is classified as a Schedule III controlled substance under federal regulation under the Anabolic Steroid Control Act of 2004. So he was caught with this not too long ago, got an 80-game suspension in May of 2022, and then now he has gotten a second suspension, which has now knocked that up to 162 games. And if anybody's wondering, the third positive test, I did not know this, but a third positive test for this would result in a lifetime ban. I never knew that. That is kind of interesting to see that it automatically jumps like that. I did not really expect that. A lifetime ban. That's something there. But other than that, I wanted to look at. I just seen it just before. An interesting article that I saw. I'm probably not gonna find it here. We are not going to find that article that I saw earlier here. People were talking about it, and I just wanted to cover it. But we're not going to cover it here because I can't find it. But with that, we're going to jump over real quick, and we're going to look at the NFL scoreboard, looking at the schedule here for Week 3, because tonight we're going to be having the Giants and the San Francisco 49ers coming up tonight. That'll be a 7:15 kickoff there at the 49ers. Expect that to be a Brock Purdy 49ers kind of game there. Looking at Sunday, Tennessee and Cleveland will face off for a noon start. Atlanta will have Detroit. Then the Packers will have New Orleans. Denver will play Miami. Los Angeles Chargers will play Minnesota. New England will play New York. Buffalo will have the Washington Commanders. I always forget they're not the Redskins. Commanders. Houston will have Jacksonville there. Indianapolis will play Baltimore. Carolina will play Seattle. Chicago against Kansas City. Dallas and Arizona. And then the Sunday Night Football will be Pittsburgh and Las Vegas. And then another Monday night doubleheader will pin the Eagles against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Rams against the Bengals. So a Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago there. Maybe Joe Burrow gets her straightened out there against the Rams. That's going to be something to see. I wonder if they play these Monday night doubleheaders all the time. No, just these last 2 weeks, it looks like they're going to be having a couple of doubleheaders going on. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I haven't seen this many doubleheaders there on Monday night in a while. But that is your NFL slate there heading into tonight's game there, New York and San Francisco. Looking over at the college football front, just to check out what games we have coming up this week. Big games. Looking at Friday, Badgers will have Purdue. Other than that, not much going on Friday. Looking at Saturday, Rutgers will have number 2 Michigan. Saturday, Florida State is going to have Clemson. That's going to be a big matchup there. Oklahoma, Cincinnati, number 16 Oklahoma versus Cincinnati. There's a couple top 25 matchups. Colorado and Oregon, and then UCLA and Utah, Ole Miss and Alabama, Duke and UConn, and then Miami and Temple will face off there. Alabama, 13th ranked Alabama, and Ole Miss at 15. And then, like I said, a couple other ranked matchups, number 11 Utah and number 22 UCLA, number 19 Colorado, and number 10 Oregon. So those are those top 25 matchups I was talking about. Duke at number 18 will play unranked UConn, and number 20 Miami will take on unranked Temple. Looking down for some top 25 matchups, Tennessee, number 23 Tennessee will play UTSA, the Roadrunners. We'll be coming to town for that one. Number 12 LSU will have Arkansas, and then number 21 Washington State will play Oregon State, number 14 ranked Oregon State. Number 25 Florida will have Charlotte, and then Georgia, number 1 Georgia will play UAB. Texas and Baylor. Number 3 Texas will have Baylor in a big matchup there in the Big 12. Number 9 Notre Dame versus number 6 Ohio State. That's going to be a big night game there. And then number 24 Iowa will take on number 7 Penn State. Later in the night, number 17 North Carolina will take on Pittsburgh. And then number 5 USC will take on Arizona State. And to top it off, number 8 Washington will take on California. So some big games in college football coming up this weekend. The Badgers will have a game Friday against Purdue. I did not remember that was on a Friday. I honestly thought it was on Saturday. It's on Friday. So tomorrow we will be covering into the Badgers, getting everybody ready for that game. But with that, I want to jump over into some college basketball real quick and just look at, they did release the conference schedule for the Badgers. We are 40 days away from the first game of this Wisconsin Badgers season. They will be facing UW Stevens Point there in an exhibition game to start out the year on November 1st. And then November 6th will be the official start to the season. They will take on Arkansas State, followed up by a November 10th date at the Kohl Center against Tennessee. Then the Gavitt tip-off games. Badgers will have Providence at Providence. Then they will play Robert Morris coming back home for that one. Followed by the Fort Myers tip-off. They're going to have Virginia in that first game of the Fort Myers tip-off there on November 20th. Then they will play either SMU or West Virginia on November 22nd. Coming back to the Kohl Center, they're going to have Western Illinois there on November 27th, followed by Marquette on December 2nd there. And then they're looking at a game against Michigan State. That got scheduled in there between Marquette and Arizona after this Michigan State game on December 5th, December 9th. They turn around right away, and they're going to be playing Arizona in Tucson. That is going to be a road trip right there. East Lansing for that game December 5th, and then Tucson, Arizona for the next one on December 9th. Right there, right away, Marquette, Michigan State, then Arizona. That could be defining games in this Badgers season early on right there. You're either going to make or break right there. You cannot lose all of them. I would say you need 2 out of 3 of that stretch there to be sitting pretty good. Then you got to play back at the Kohl Center. You're going to have Jacksonville State on December 14th, followed by Chicago State on December 22nd there at the Kohl Center. Then the new year tips off January 2nd versus Iowa at the Kohl Center. After that, January 6th, they're going to have Nebraska, followed by a game at Ohio State on January 10th. January 13th, they're looking at a game versus Northwestern, followed by a game at Penn State on January 16th, Indiana on January 19th, at Minnesota on January 23rd. The 26th of January, they got Michigan State again at the Kohl Center, followed by a game at Nebraska, then versus Purdue there, so February 1st. Then the 4th, they play Purdue. The 7th, they'll have Michigan at Michigan, Rutgers at Rutgers on February 10th, followed by a home game February 13th against Ohio State. Then they go on the road to take on Iowa, followed by Maryland, Indiana, Illinois, Rutgers, and then at Purdue to end the season. That is a gauntlet of a schedule the Badgers set up there. But you win these games or even drop 4, 5, 6 of them against some of these better opponents and you play them close, you're sitting pretty good. But you cannot afford any of the upset losses. You cannot afford, before you play Tennessee, for Arkansas State to come to the Kohl Center and catch you off guard, or to have Robert Morris catch you off guard before Virginia, or even a team like Western Illinois to make you play like crap in that one before you play Marquette and then Michigan State and Arizona. You cannot have blunders before you play some of these big games. So a good schedule for the Badgers to build a resume early on in the season here to be pushing towards the NCAA tournament even before conference schedule starts. Then the conference schedule starts and you have a lot of games in there that you can bolster up that resume moving forward there. But with that, that is about all I got for that. I just want to get the schedule out there. Just saw it coming across and I wanted to talk about it a little bit there. We'll get more into it as it gets closer. But with that, I want to just give a little preview of the Brewers game today. 12:15 start for the Brewers. Wade Miley will start against Michaelis in this one. Miley's coming in 8-4 with 3.38 ERA. Michaelis at 7-12 with a 4.84 ERA. Game 4 of this series against the Cardinals. Another chance for the Brewers to move just a little bit more ahead in the get that magic number down to 3 or even 2 if the Cubs lose again in this one. But with that, I just want to look around. We're going to fly around the league real quick and just check out some scores from last night. The Phillies beat the Braves in 10 innings, 6-5. Reds lost to the Twins 5-3 in that one. The Nationals beat the White Sox 13-3. Rangers beat the Red Sox 15-5. Astros beat the Orioles 2-1. Royals beat the Cleveland Guardians 6-2 there. Athletics lost to the Mariners 6-3. Diamondbacks beat the Giants 7-1. Padres beat the Rockies 3-2. Rays lost to the Angels 8-3. The Mets beat the Marlins 8-3 in that one. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees 6-1. Pirates beat the Cubs 13-7 in that one. Big spots, 7-run 4th inning for the Pirates, 3-run 6th, and a 2-run 9th was the big difference in that one there. And then the Brewers, like I said, beat the Cardinals there. Looking at the Thursday slate of games, Pirates and Cubs will have a 6:40 first pitch. Phillies and Mets will have a 6:15 first pitch. Giants and Dodgers a 9:10 first pitch. Like I said, Brewers 12:15 first pitch there. And then the Braves and Nationals will kick off a series 6:05 start in that one. So a big day for the Brewers there. Hopefully the Pirates can help them out a little bit and the Brewers can get a win and a series win against the Redbirds there before they head to Miami for that weekend series against the Marlins. I think that starts on Friday right away. Yep. A weekend series there with the Marlins. So big stories there for the Brewers. They have a chance to clinch here over the weekend, or if they want, wait until you come back home and clinch it there at American Family Field. But with that, it's been great talking with you guys. We didn't have a lot to talk about there today, but tomorrow we have to preview the Badgers night game, and then we're going to have to be talking a little bit of more Brewers. They're going to have wrapping up that series with the Cardinals. We're going to be talking about that and then talking about the upcoming series with the Marlins, also jumping into a little bit of Packer news, previewing that game this weekend. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trades. Thank you guys for listening. Deuces, Brew Crew.